Couldn't I just do that? Couldn't I do a pack shot of that? Filmosophy by Daniel Frampton, a manifesto for a radically new way of understanding cinema.
The moral right of Daniel Frampton to be identified as the author of this work has been asserted in accordance with the Copyright, Designs and Patents Act of 1998.
Hi Dan, Brother Saul here. I'm going to read from the introduction to Filmosophy. In the summer of 1896, Maxim Gorky attended a screening of the Lumiere cinematograph in Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, and famously recorded his experience with this early silent black and white projection for a local newspaper. Last night I was in the kingdom of shadows. If you only knew how strange it is to be there. It is a world without sound, without colour. Everything there, the earth, the trees, the people, the water and the air, is dipped in monotonous greys. 100 years later, on the DVD of Contact, Jodie Foster offers her own commentary on the making of the film, and at one point talks about a simple conversation between her character and her love interest, played by Matthew McConaughey. Foster points out, with not a little shock, that the fact that the director, Robert Zemeckis, had digitally readjusted her facial expression at one point. Zemeckis had removed her eyebrow movement in a way to make her character react differently to McConaughey. Foster seemed obviously annoyed, not only that her original performance was deemed unsuitable, but that her person had almost been violated by a digital effect. "Stop fooling with my face," she says.
Question 40. If the starting point for these philosophers is what can film do for philosophy, how long will it take for them to realise what film offers philosophy?
Metaphors enliven a work, making it vital and graphic. A good metaphor is a Pandora's box overflowing with suggestive interpretations that lead you elsewhere.
Some films think in colour. Some films believe that their characters lead lives without colour, not so much black and white as light grey and dark grey.
We are used to the representation of war, to the design of television reportage that holds the effects of war in check, that muffles and subverts the reality it can never show.
This internal movement of the lens, static camera displays space, also makes the filmgoer aware of the consciousness of film's viewing.
If a film has a person in it, then an immediate possibility offers itself in the guise of that person's indicated thoughts and perceptions, remembering, dreaming, imagining, as well as simply seeing.
Sharpness is not so much intended as needed in a normal film, but sharpness perhaps becomes more thoughtful when it is in an obvious contrast to the unfocused. For our theoretical needs here, a part of the image is in focus when the attention of the film is on the focused. As in the scenes going on behind a conversation, it is defocused when the attention is actually on that which is blurred or was focused. Again, these technicist terms should eventually give way to more thoughtful poeticisms.
To say that film swamps our thinking is to misunderstand and underestimate the part played by the filmgoer's thinking. Again, we are not discussing some hypothetical weak filmgoer, nor some inattentive one. Some cultural theorists have attempted to attend to the complete audience when the filmgoer notices their popcorn or their companion. But this seems less important for our purposes than attempting to understand just what it is possible in the meeting of film and mind.
Films that fluidly mix digital and real-like events are stretching our understanding of film drama. Notably, questions of what was actually recorded become redundant. Half of The Matrix never actually took place in front of the camera. As Bazin wrote, the photographic image is the object itself, the object freed from the conditions of time and space that govern it.
Every go into the cinema, where the perforated celluloid is purring in the darkness. On entering, our gaze is guided by the luminous ray to the screen, where for 2 hours it will remain fixed. Life in the street outside no longer exists. Our problems evaporate, our neighbours disappear. Our body itself submits to a sort of temporary depersonalisation, which takes away the feeling of its own existence. We are nothing but 2 eyes, riveted to 10 square metres of white sheet. Thank you.
Thus film is a new metaphysic, a post-metaphysic, in that it can provide a direct thinking of such abstract concepts as being, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time and space.
And action.
Think perhaps some of the director and the cinematographer getting together to make some initial decisions about the film they are about to make. Academy or widescreen ratio, black and white or color, type of the film stock, of course, grainy or sharp.
Formal and fluid film thinking. Beyond its job of constructing and ordering the film world, the filmed also redesigns the film world through formal and fluid film thinking. In other words, beyond the simple interaction of basic film thinking is an active involvement in the scene at hand.
Films can think via music as much as noise effects, and each choice powerfully reconfigures the images. And the names are there if you want to make an extended culture discussion of a movie. Bela Bartok's Music for Strings, Percussion and Celeste always controlling the energies of The Shining. Arvo Part's Fractures and Tabula Rasa, bringing a heavy heart to Little Hornets.
Perhaps Filmosophy can help reassess those difficult, great films that film critics applaud but do not seem to like or enjoy. Did you feel its greatness? Or did you work it out afterwards? Some films may seem to be interesting and impressive, but they may not have engaged us. We may not have moved our thinking towards the film. Millions may not go to see a Godard film, but as he himself says, if you do go, they'll give 80% of themselves to the film. If you go and see Titanic, you'll only give 10% of your personality. Good films get smaller audiences, but more of the viewer.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and the 400 Blows differently end on still thoughts. One possibly thinking, retaining their proud, courageous memory in an act of immediate immortality. The other thinking a moment of freedom, one resounding with the future.
But first, to understand how filmgoers experience film, we must note what normal experience is marked by. Experience through sight and hearing is a mode of thought, filtered through context and personality and language, and probably much more. And we all experience things differently. Do the clouds waft past the moon, or does the moon glide through the clouds?
Andy, have we got any philosophical concepts?
I don't know. Why don't you have a look in that cauldron of practical activity?
So, in this chapter, my argument is that we can trace a line from the reflexive, poetic writing of such philosophers as Nietzsche and Derrida, through the meditative thinking of Heidegger and the image of thought in Deleuze and others, to arrive at a post-metaphysical thinking of film. That is, the end of philosophy lies film.